And we are back. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, Johnson County Sports? I'm Prince.
And I'm Zach.
You guys have probably seen him before if you guys watch a lot of the main mic stuff and other things like that. You guys have probably seen him around. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy to be on the sports podcast for once.
Yeah, this is probably something different for you.
A little bit. I'm not on the podcast too much. I haven't been on the main mic, and I guess technically I was in the yoga video we just put out, but like as a person on the couch, haven't done this in a hot minute.
Yeah,
So.
There's a guy that's always behind the audio and all that, so praise him for that stuff. But we're getting to the main nitty-gritty stuff, which is always the Johnson County Sports, which is the women's side. Obviously lost. Upset, of course, but that's not something to take away from them for what? It was a 34-0 season.
Yeah, no, they still did incredible.
Crazy. They lost to, I don't know how you pronounce their community college. I think it's Pima. I don't know how you.
I don't know.
Something like that, but they lost 68-67, so it was only a 1-point game. They led late in the game, under 3 minutes. They were actually up 67-62. They were, so it looked like Johnson County could pull away. But then they just went on a 6-0 run, and then we just struggled to shoot a little. It just kind of got bad at the end. We did get a shot at the end to win the game, but then we missed it. And we got the offensive rebound, but then they got blocked.
Yeah,
so it was
crazy game.
Yeah, it was a very good game to watch. It was just turnovers, sloppy turnovers, just some bad things. But again, overall in general, it's been a crazy season for both the men and the women's, and I think there's nothing to take away from that.
Yeah. Regardless, they did incredible.
Exactly. How have you felt looking at, those men and women's side of the?
Yeah. So obviously, I'm not a super big sports person.
Mm-hmm.
But I do occasionally follow along with things. So, especially the teams being from the school I'm going to, I knew a little bit more about both the men's and women's teams. So it was incredible to hear that they were doing so well. They made it incredibly far, both of them. So I'm proud to be a part of the school that has such good teams, regardless if we won or not, because we did incredible.
Yeah, so. And there's nothing like I always have some stats to give out to everyone, and here's my part here is that the other side, Melisha Nelson, which this is a crazy stat line that I've never seen out of any like women's player yet, even in WNBA. Like she had 22 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, and 6 steals. I'm saying 6 turnovers from Johnson County or from one person on the other team. That's pretty impressive. So shout out to them, but they didn't go 34-1.
Yeah.
So big W's for us. But yeah, just in general, the offensive flow kind of just struggled, and we had 20 turnovers, which led to their comeback. But this isn't really going to be the most of positive episode. So if you get depressed and sad very easily, then I'm sorry, because this is just going to make it worse. Because when we go over to the KU side of things, it was a really, really crazy game to watch. At first, I was just like, I might turn this game off at this point, because we were down at one point by 14, and it was in the second half, and I was kind of just like, might be over. But then they went on a 12-3 run, and then they tied the game. And then I was like, okay, we got a ball game with us now.
Yeah.
And then Darian Peterson at the line. This is what we've been waiting for. Ties the game up. And then we do that foul game thing where we just foul to not let just drain the clock. My opinion, I don't think they should have done that in the first place. Did you watch the game?
I caught glimpses of it at work. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I didn't really think that was the best strategy to just drain the clock. It wasn't the worst idea, but I think you're just giving them so much more time to even think about the play.
Mm-hmm.
And then the help defense, nothing was really there, and then a game winner. So I guess Kansas right now is kind of just probably feeling a bit down in general. Especially when you go here right now, you're not.
Yeah, the Kansas City area, just kind of in general.
Yeah,
just catching some strays.
We're not in the greatest mind here. If we want to throw some stats out here, they only lost by 2 again. So this game, I also just look at it in a similar way to how the Johnson County game ended.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great game, and then they fell behind, and then it got close out of nowhere. And again at the end, turnovers, missed shots, and we lost. But of course, we always talk about Darian Peterson. He had 21 points. He was the leading scorer too, but I was very disappointed by everybody else because me watching the game, nobody else really did anything. It was kind of more just so of hero ball, which was Darian Peterson the whole time, and even St. John's, they were horrible. They
Yeah.
shot worse from the field than we did. So you would probably think if the other team shoots worse, then we'd probably win. But it was more so they shot worse, but they hit 6 more threes than us, which that's the
Yeah.
part that plays into it the most. We had 16 turnovers, just some sloppy basketball. So Bill Self is also considering his future, which again, I said I'm gonna bring up a lot of negative points throughout this whole podcast. I don't think he wants to leave. He just wants to be in the right place physically, because I know he's had some issues with his body in the past few years. So he doesn't know about his future at the moment, is what he said. I'm pretty sure. So I think we're just left in a lot of what's gonna happen or what's the future looking like of KU right now.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Yeah.
about that though?
Again, I don't follow,
Yeah.
especially basketball.
Yeah.
The basketball is probably my least followed sport,
Yeah.
even though I played it in middle school.
Were you good?
We were undefeated.
Look at
So
that.
I don't remember what position I played or anything. It was such a long time ago at this
Yeah.
point. But yeah, I don't follow basketball too much. But I mean, I know KU is pretty good, but it just sucks with the circumstances that happened.
Yeah, and now Darian Peterson is not going to be on this team anymore.
Mhm.
He's gone for the league.
Yeah.
But you're happy to have someone like that, and I know there's a lot of negativity on him about missing games and such, but
I mean,
he's
still
the-
has a stats. Like he's a good player, stats
Exactly.
wise.
He's
So
if the other players had stepped up, we would have won the game. It's just he was trying to do it all, and there's nobody else for him. If you guys really know basketball, then I'll say he was playing like 2018 LeBron James. There, for anybody that has ball knowledge, know that. But just in March Madness in general, I know this part. I don't know if have you been keeping up with the bracket or anything at all?
a little bit. Like
little bit?
we've had it on at work.
Yeah.
My boss is big into it, so
Yeah.
he's been like watching it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
there's always like Cinderella stories. There's always crazy upsets.
for sure.
And it's not like this year's changed at all. Like Florida has gone down, and they were the champs, the reigning champs. And now Texas is on like kind of a Cinderella story, too, by beating BYU, who they have like the first or second projected player in the NBA draft, with AJ DeBonsa, and then they also beat Gonzaga. So Texas right now is kind of on that Cinderella type of story where they beat some of the top teams. But the biggest upset was I literally think on day one where High Point, which I had never even heard of, beat Wisconsin, and I think everyone kind of just went crazy because you're expecting upsets, of course, because it's March Madness. But you don't sometimes really expect it like on one of the first few games. You just expect the higher seeds to win, go do their thing. But then the later games, like at night, I don't know why, but late night games always just go more crazier, in my opinion.
I think it's. I don't know. Yeah, I can agree to that. It's always the late games that always have something crazy. It's never like the morning games.
Yeah, it really never is. But of course, a lot of the top dogs are out early. Like I know a lot of the blue collar teams. I don't know if this is a weird fun fact, but like KU's out, Kentucky's out, UNC's out. So a lot of the blue collar teams maybe don't want to be blue. I guess
It's not a blue March.
not this year looking like. But yeah, we're always expecting this. You never know who's gonna win. Anything can happen at any moment, but that's why it's March Madness. But really, what I'm trying to get after here is that I always debate on whether I love, March Madness more? Like, is March Madness the peak of sports sometimes?
It kind of feels like it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, it has a huge following.
Oh, yeah.
But like also NFL season, Super Bowl is also huge. World Series for baseball. You know,
'Cause I think-
every sport has their own like
'cause I think
time.
this is the time of like the year where there's a lot of sports that get a lot of like, especially basketball, because you have March
There's
Madness.
so many teams also
Yeah.
just with
And then just with the NBA, like their playoffs are about to start in like a month.
yeah.
And then I know baseball has started, or I
Yeah.
think it's about to start. Right?
Yeah, I
Started?
think we've started now.
Yeah. So this is where you kind of just have like peak
yeah.
sports, I guess.
I mean, it's almost summer. It makes sense. So it's
Basically.
weather is warming up finally, which is weird that football is like the one that plays in the cold.
Yeah, but it makes up for some crazy funny games.
Yeah, when they slip.
Oh yeah. It would be nice if they played, but it would also be bad on them if they played on 98-degree weather running around.
Yeah, it's probably because of all the armor they put on. Or like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm sure it gets hot in those, but like even still playing in freezing weather, it must suck.
Yeah. I know my parents always question that, but I don't know why I always thought since you're running around, you're probably sweating a lot.
I mean,
that
yeah.
Cold probably feels a little nice, but not.
But if it's
too nice.
but if it's still freezing out, it's still gonna be
Yeah,
freezing out, regardless if you're sweating or not.
Definitely. So I know you said you're more of a football person. Are you saying
Yeah.
college or NFL? Or both?
NFL. I don't really follow college too much.
Yeah.
There's just so many more teams that
Mhm.
like there's already enough in the NFL where I'm like, okay, I can follow all of these along semi well.
Yeah.
College just throws it into the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
back, and I'm like, I don't know what team is what.
Yeah. Well, I know the Chiefs. We signed Kelsey on a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
But then now there's a new deal that we got him on, which is a 3-year deal. Which I don't think he's going to stay for the whole 3 years. I definitely think he'll retire.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It depends. How old is he compared to Mahomes? I forget. How close are they in age?
A few years apart, I think.
Yeah, I know Mahomes is younger.
Yeah.
I think it's just because he wants to stay with Mahomes as long as he can, because they do make a good duo.
They do. I think it's more so. I still do think for some reason that this is his last year. It's just because he just didn't want to end it off how they ended it off.
Which is fair. It ended off pretty badly last season.
Yeah. So. What are your thoughts on Chiefs right now?
Chiefs, I need them to make a comeback. I need prime Chiefs back, because we were doing so good for so many years. Even if we lost a couple, I mean, we lost in the playoffs and Super Bowl once or twice, which happens. You know, we're as good as they were. I'm not expecting to win every year 5 years in a row, but we had 3 or 2 in a row, which we were one of the only other teams to do that.
Yeah.
Which was phenomenal. And then they just ended off in such a bad season. So many bad things just happened. A lot of injuries.
Especially that final game.
God, it was terrible. But I need them to make a comeback. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you say you lost to Tom Brady, nobody's like, that's Tom Brady.
Yeah,
like,
you can't really compete with that.
And that was young Mahomes, I'm pretty sure, too.
That was his first year, I think, with the Chiefs. It was first or second, I think.
I know something.
It was relatively early on in his Chiefs career that we lost to him because, duh.
Yeah, I mean, that's still my goat for right now. But Mahomes can do it. I believe in him.
Mahomes, I mean, yeah, he's still young, and he's still projected to be as good as Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I have a lot of hope. I just hope I'm not too confident in the Chiefs. I like to not get too overconfident, because I've done that with a lot of things now in life.
That's how I was with the Bears, because I'm also from Chicago, so I'm a big Bears and Cubs fan. So when the Chiefs got knocked out, I'm like, okay, fine, I still have the Bears, and then they kept going pretty far. And Caleb Williams he's good at what he does, but I mean, the game we lost, it happens.
The thing is, if you're a Bears fan,
we're used to losing.
Yeah, but even if you're down 21-0 in the third quarter, you're not turning off.
Oh, dude, literally,
You could never
we
turn
were
it
so
off.
close to turning off. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, just
Caleb
never,
Williams will pull it through.
yeah,
And then he
just
did against the
just
Packers that one game. Oh, my God.
just never turn it off.
Literally.
He's got
They
the
are-
clutch gene already at a young age.
Yeah, no, he's really good. They are definitely a second half team.
Yeah.
I wish they weren't
Yeah.
because the suspense is crazy and kills me, but they've made some crazy comebacks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. It's so weird for a coach. I'm sure the coach wants them to perform how they perform in the second half to do it exactly in the
Yeah.
first half. So that's always confuses me about a lot of these teams when they're second half teams.
I don't know. Maybe it's just
That-
like the
they just need
direct
that coach
motivation.
talk.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is though. I don't know why you'd need that because isn't it the beginning of the game that great amazing like speech all the hearts coach just brutal. I guess at
Maybe it's the
halftime-
pressure. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's
At halftime,
the,
it's just straight direct to the heart,
yeah.
cussing in your face,
Probably.
everything, something
Literally.
like that. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Well, like, how have you? Well, how was your spring break actually? Because I know this is.
Yeah, we can talk about spring
Yeah.
breaks. I really just worked. That's
Yeah.
all I did. I don't even know how many hours I worked. I picked up so many shifts,
Yeah.
stayed for way longer than I needed to. But it's a job that I like, so
Mhm.
I'm not
That's
really
all, I mean, That's all
complaining.
you can ask for, really, when you're working.
Yeah, and plus I could use the money, so
Yeah,
I can't really
exactly.
complain. How was yours?
It was good. I got hit with food poisoning, I'd say, in like the first day, but then it kind of got away way faster than
Yeah.
the usual. But I think a lot of allergies are going around everywhere because it's springtime now, so a lot of people are coughing.
Yeah, my
and-
allergies have been crazy.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of sneezing around the whole college. Apparently, it's been bad. But yeah, I don't. Nothing other than that I have in mind. What do you?
No, I mean, I'm just excited for. I'm again a big football fan out
Yeah.
of all the sports, really. So
Mhm.
I'm just excited for football to come back. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
last week before, not last week, but the week before spring break, you guys had talked about not the draft because the draft hasn't started yet, but the other thing with people. So Pacheco leaving. I'm so mad at that still. I'm a big Pacheco fan, but
Yeah.
I mean,
You
can't
replace-
really complain with the replacement
about
that
to
we
say,
got
yeah, you
because,
can't.
MVP. But like
Yeah.
Pacheco, he's my guy.
Yeah. But they've done a lot of signings. They've let a lot of people go. I think they really focused on offense and free agency.
Free,
and-
yeah, that's what it. Free
Yeah.
agency, yeah.
And I'm hoping that in the draft you focus on defense since you've.
Yeah, I mean, as good as our offense can be with Mahomes and even Kelsey when he, pulls up, our defense, man, our
Oh, yeah.
defense has been struggling.
Nasty.
It was decent last year,
Mhm.
which was kind of surprising, but it's been a constant struggle for the last few years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's the corners that have struggled a lot.
Yeah, our front line is fine. I mean, you
Yeah.
got Chris Jones, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, it is just a lot of teams are able to pick up what we do because we usually do the same kind of
Mhm.
defense positions a
Yeah.
lot of the time. So most of them just catch
Just
on to
more
that.
so, like of the effort that needs to be put in by the
Yeah,
defense,
it
'cause
feels like a lot of them just don't care.
Yeah, I just always remember that Jaguars game. Where
Yeah.
Chris Jones just let him walk in. That
Yeah.
still makes me mad. But there was a flag warrior that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flag warrior.
If you guys don't know about the flag warriors on the Chiefs,
I think they're actually called flag. They're like flag runners. I
Flag
think.
runners?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
He
say.
was just calling himself a flag warrior, which is cool.
He
Cool.
probably
But I think
is.
their official title is like flag runner.
Oh, okay. But
But-
yeah, if you guys actually haven't watched that one, it was actually some cool information
Yeah,
that I never knew about.
A lot of cool information about the Chiefs, how they do kind of their hiring, just in
Mhm.
general. What it's like working with the team. We talked about the parade,
Big
which
one.
unfortunate events, but it
Mhm.
was cool and interesting to hear a first person experience with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'm pretty sure he said he was also in the military
I think so. Yeah.
Which- because he had a different view
Of how
doing-
they were, of how
how
they
to
were
do
like
things in the whole
taking
parade,
shelter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely check out that episode.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, it was a lot of
wasn't.
fun.
I wasn't like I didn't know what to expect. Like I didn't know what questions to ask. Like I just thought, oh, what you just run with a flag?
Yeah.
Like, that's all I had in my mind to ask him, but
Technically, yeah, but
That's-
also like no.
no. You got to run with Tyreek Hill,
Oh,
basically.
you have to run alongside Tyreek Hill.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's been doing this for 6 years now, I think, or something
think
like
so,
that.
something like that.
He's been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah.
So
It was more so cool that he said you have to try out every year.
every year, yeah, because they switch up people if they're
Mhm.
not able to keep up,
Mhm.
which makes sense because you do
Yeah.
need to have a lot of physicality to
Mhm.
do that job.
Yeah.
So
We're leaking too much information. Just go watch it.
can't do it. We can't do
Yeah, we gotta stop.
it. Just watch the episode.
Yeah, just go ahead.
I'll
But
link it
yeah,
right here.
somewhere,
Right
yes,
here.
somewhere above his head, something like that. But yeah, there's nothing more for me to mention about.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on?
No. I mean, we're excited to be back from spring break. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
New episodes will be dropping every week,
Mhm.
so just stay tuned for those. Stay tuned for all of the podcasts we have going on. We appreciate the support, and
Of course.
we're doing a lot. So
Yeah, we're trying our best. Thank you guys for
Awesome.
watching another episode. Tune in next week, and thank you for all the support. See ya.
See ya.